Hello, dear friends. It is always a joy to be together here, sharing moments that connect and inspire us. Today, I want to talk about a very special celestial event that is about to happen. The opposition of Mars, scheduled for January 16th, 2025. This phenomenon is not just a visual spectacle, but also a unique opportunity for us to reflect on our lives and our faith. Did you know that the opposition of Mars occurs every 780 days? That's right. It is a moment when Mars approaches Earth, becoming brighter and more visible in the sky. For us, who seek to understand the divine purpose in our lives, each star and each planet has a special meaning. Mars, with its vibrant color and intense light, invites us to look up and think about our spiritual journey. When we look to the sky and see Mars shining, we are reminded that we also have an inner light. Just as the planet stands out in the darkness of space, we, as God's chosen ones, are called to shine amid the difficulties and uncertainties of life. This is an invitation to reflect on how we are living and whether our actions are aligned with the plans that God has for us. In this gathering, we will explore together what this light in the sky can teach us. How can we align ourselves more with God's will? What does it mean to be light in a world that often seems shrouded in darkness? Let's discover how the opposition of Mars can inspire us to strengthen our faith and draw even closer to the Creator. So I invite you to join me on this journey of reflection and discovery. Let's take this opportunity to connect with the divine and better understand our role in this world. And if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, don't forget to follow us. That way, you will stay updated on all our conversations and reflections. May God bless us all. Mars, known as the Red Planet, is one of the most fascinating celestial bodies in our solar system. Its reddish color, a result of iron oxide on its surface, has always captured humanity's attention. Since ancient times, Mars has been associated with gods of war and symbolizes strength and courage. However, beyond its rich cultural history, Mars is an object of scientific study that offers us a unique insight into the universe and, why not, into ourselves. On January 16th, 2025, Mars will be in opposition, an astronomical event that occurs approximately every 780 days. During opposition, Earth positions itself exactly between the Sun and Mars. This means that Mars will be closer to us than at any other time, becoming brighter and more visible in the sky. For astronomy enthusiasts and those seeking a moment of contemplation, this is an unmissable opportunity. On the date of opposition, Mars will be about 0.64 astronomical units from Earth, which is approximately 96 million kilometers. This proximity not only facilitates observation, but also reminds us of the vastness of the cosmos and our position within it. With a magnitude of -1.4, Mars will be visible to the naked eye, standing out among the stars. This intense brightness is an invitation for us to look to the sky and reflect on what it represents in our lives. The best time to observe Mars will be at dusk, looking to the east. It is at this moment that the planet will begin to rise on the horizon, shining brightly and capturing our attention. If you have a telescope, observing Mars becomes even more fascinating. With a bit of luck and the right conditions, it will be possible to see details of the Martian surface, such as its polar caps and vast plains. These details connect us to a distant world, awakening our curiosity and desire to explore. But beyond the science and beauty of the phenomenon, the opposition of Mars offers us an opportunity for reflection. Just as Mars will shine brightly in the sky, we are also called to shine as God's chosen ones. This inner light that each of us possesses is a divine gift, and it is our responsibility to let it shine, amid the difficulties and challenges of life. When we look at Mars, we can ask ourselves, how am I allowing my light to shine? In a world that often seems shrouded in darkness, we are invited to be beacons of hope and love. The opposition of Mars reminds us that even in moments of darkness, light can prevail. Just as the red planet stands out in the vast night sky, we too must strive to stand out in our communities, reflecting the light of Christ in our actions and words. Furthermore, the opposition of Mars can be seen as a symbol of alignment. When Earth, the Sun, and Mars are aligned, we are reminded of the importance of being aligned with God's purposes in our lives. This alignment helps us find clarity and direction, allowing our decisions to be guided by divine wisdom. Ask yourself, am I living according to the plans that God has for me? This is an important reflection that can help us adjust our path and draw closer to the Creator. The beauty of the opposition of Mars lies not only in its appearance, but also in the message it brings. It is a reminder that just as the planets follow their orbits and cycles, our lives also have rhythms and times. Sometimes we may feel that we are in retrograde motion, facing challenges and setbacks. However, just as Mars returns to its normal course after opposition, we too have the opportunity to correct our trajectory and start anew. When we look to the sky and see Mars shining brightly, we are reminded of a profound truth that the Bible teaches us in Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. This passage invites us to reflect on the role we play in our communities and in our lives. Just as Mars stands out in the vast night sky, we are called to shine and illuminate the way for those around us. The light that emanates from us is not something we possess on our own. It is a gift from God, a light that must be shared and reflected in our actions and attitudes. Mars, with its vibrant color and striking presence, serves as a powerful symbol of how we should behave in a world that often seems shrouded in darkness. In times of uncertainty, pain, and despair, the light of Christ in us can bring hope and transformation. Each of us has the capacity to be agents of change, to bring comfort and love to those who are lost or discouraged. The question we must ask ourselves is, what am I doing today to let my light shine? Reflecting on this question leads us to consider how we can be more intentional in our daily lives. Sometimes, the routine can make us forget the impact we can have on others. A simple act of kindness, a word of encouragement, or a gesture of compassion can brighten someone's day and, in turn, inspire them to do the same. The light we receive from God should not be kept to ourselves. It should be shared, multiplied, and spread like a beacon amid the darkness. When Mars is at its brightest moment, we can remember that we also have moments when our light can shine more intensely. These moments can arise in different situations. When we help a friend in need, when we offer support to a stranger, or when we are simply present for someone who needs companionship. Each of these acts is an opportunity to reflect the light of Christ and to show the world the love He has for all of us. Moreover, being light in a dark world also means being an example of faith and hope. In a time when many face challenges and uncertainties, our trust in God can be a powerful testimony. When we demonstrate faith amid difficulties, we show others that there is a light that never goes out, even in the darkest nights. That light is God's presence in our lives, and it empowers us to face any storm. Mars reminds us that we were created to stand out. Each of us has a unique and special purpose. God made us with abilities, talents, and passions that can be used to glorify Him and to serve others. When we allow ourselves to shine, we not only fulfill our purpose, but also inspire those around us to do the same. The light that shines in us can ignite the flame of hope in others, leading them to seek the light of Christ in their own lives. It is important to remember that even when we feel weak or insecure, God's light in us is powerful. Sometimes, we may feel as if we are dimmed or lacking brightness, but it is in those moments that we need to remember that the light of Christ never fails. He is the source of our light, and when we connect to Him, we are renewed and strengthened. Just as Mars stands out in the sky, we too can stand out when we remain steadfast in our faith and in our relationship with God. Therefore, as we contemplate the beauty of Mars in its opposition, may we remember the calling we have to be light in this world. May we commit to letting our light shine, not only in moments of greatness, but also in the small interactions of everyday life. Every act of love, every word of encouragement, and every gesture of kindness are opportunities to reflect the light of Christ. The light we receive from God is a gift that must be shared. May we be like Mars, shining brightly and illuminating the way for those around us. By doing so, we will be fulfilling our calling and living according to the purpose that God has for us. May the light of Christ in us be a source of hope and transformation, not only for us, but for all who cross our path. What are you doing today to let your light shine? That is the question we should carry in our hearts as we prepare to observe Mars and reflect on our role as the light of the world. Thus, when we observe the opposition of Mars, we notice that it will be perfectly aligned with Earth and the Sun. This astronomical phenomenon is not only a visual wonder, but also a powerful symbol that invites us to reflect on the alignment in our own lives. Just as the planets align in their orbits, we are called to align our lives with God's will. This reflection is fundamental, as it helps us understand how we can live more fully and meaningfully. The celestial alignment of Mars reminds us that when we are in harmony with the cosmos, everything flows more smoothly. Similarly, when our lives are aligned with divine purposes, we find a sense of peace and clarity. However, when we stray from this alignment, we may feel confused, lost, and directionless. Life can seem chaotic, and the decisions we make may not reflect what we truly desire or what God has planned for us. It is natural that at times we may feel misaligned. The pressures of daily life, distractions, and worries can pull us away from our purpose. We may get lost in our own agendas, forgetting to seek divine guidance. In those moments, it is essential to stop and reflect. Is my life aligned with divine purposes? This question can be a starting point for reevaluating our priorities and actions. When we seek God's presence, we begin to realize that our decisions become clearer. Prayer, meditation, and reading the Bible are practices that help us connect with the divine and better understand what He desires for us. By dedicating ourselves to these practices, we find the wisdom needed to make decisions that are in harmony with God's plans. This connection allows us to see beyond immediate circumstances and helps us discern what is truly important. Spiritual alignment also invites us to consider how we are living in relation to others. Our interactions and relationships are an extension of our alignment with God. When we are in tune with His will, we are more likely to act with love, compassion, and empathy. This means that as we align ourselves with God, we also align ourselves with those around us, fostering an environment of support and understanding. Moreover, spiritual alignment helps us find purpose amid difficulties. When we face challenges, it is easy to feel discouraged and lose hope. However, when we are aligned with God's will, we can see these challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. The Bible teaches us that God has a plan for each of us, and even in the most difficult situations, He is working for our good. This perspective allows us to face adversities with courage and faith. The opposition of Mars also reminds us that just as the planets follow their orbits, Our lives have cycles and rhythms. Sometimes, we may feel that we are in a period of stagnation or regression. However, it is important to remember that these moments are part of the growth process. Just as Mars returns to its normal course after opposition, we too have the ability to correct our trajectory and realign ourselves with divine purposes. Therefore, as we contemplate the beauty of Mars's celestial alignment, we are invited to reflect on our own spiritual alignment. What practices can we adopt to connect more deeply with God? How can we ensure that our lives reflect His light and love? These are questions we should consider as we prepare to observe Mars in its opposition. Additionally, it is essential to remember that spiritual alignment is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. We must strive to maintain this connection over time, always seeking God's presence in our lives. This may mean dedicating time to prayer, participating in Bible study groups, or simply setting aside moments of silence to listen to God's voice. Each of these steps helps us remain aligned with His will and live according to the purposes He has for us. On January 16th, 2025, Mars will be closer to Earth than at any other time, a phenomenon that invites us to reflect on the proximity of God in our lives. Just as Mars will shine brightly in the sky, this closeness reminds us that God is also always accessible, waiting for us to draw near to Him. This connection between astronomy and spirituality offers us a unique opportunity to contemplate the relationship we have with the Creator. The proximity of Mars is a powerful reminder that, even amid the vastness of the universe, we are not alone. God is always by our side, ready to listen to us and guide us. He is not a distant being, but a loving Father who desires an intimate relationship with us. When we look to the sky and see Mars shining, we can remember that this light is a reflection of the divine light that dwells in us and around us. Additionally, God's proximity inspires us to be light for others. When we feel His presence and love, we are called to share that light with those around us. Just as Mars shines in the sky, we are invited to shine in our communities, offering hope and love to those in need. This is a powerful way to reflect the light of Christ and show the world that God is present and active in our lives. Therefore, as we contemplate the beauty of Mars's opposition, may we remember God's proximity. May this occasion inspire us to seek a deeper relationship with Him, recognizing that He is always accessible and ready to welcome us. As we draw near to God, we find not only comfort and guidance, but also the strength to shine in a world that often desperately needs light. May we seize this opportunity to connect with the divine and reflect His light in all that we do. So, during the opposition of Mars, we observe a fascinating phenomenon known as retrograde motion. During this period, Mars appears to move backward in the sky, creating an illusion that makes us reflect on our own lives. Often we may feel as if we are moving backward, facing challenges that make us question our progress and our purpose. This feeling of regression is common and can be triggered by various circumstances, such as personal difficulties, emotional crises, or even unexpected changes in our lives. Just as Mars goes through this retrograde motion, we also face moments when it seems like we are losing control, or that our lives are not following the path we desire. These periods can be challenging and often leave us feeling discouraged. However, it is important to remember that just as Mars eventually returns to its normal course, we also have the opportunity to correct our trajectory and rise again. Life is full of ups and downs, and it is natural for us to experience setbacks. What truly matters is how we respond to these moments. Instead of allowing ourselves to be downcast, we can choose to see these experiences as opportunities for growth and learning. Each challenge we face can teach us something valuable about ourselves and about life. It is in these moments that we are called to seek the strength and wisdom of God, who helps us find our way back. A passage that encourages us to trust in God during these periods is Psalm 37:23 through 24, which says, "The steps of a good man are established by the Lord, and he delights in his way. When he falls, he will not be cast headlong, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." This message reminds us that even when we face difficulties, God is by our side, ready to help us get back up. He does not abandon us in our moments of weakness. On the contrary, He offers us support and guidance. When we encounter setbacks, it is essential to reflect on what we can learn from the situation. Sometimes these moments of stagnation or regression can be a sign that we need to reevaluate our priorities or adjust our focus. We can ask ourselves, what is this experience teaching me? How can I use this to grow and become a better person? These questions help us transform pain into learning and find new meaning in our lives. Furthermore, it is important to remember that setbacks do not define who we are. They are merely a part of the journey. Each of us has a purpose and a calling, and even when we face difficulties, it does not mean we are off course. God has a plan for each of us, and He is working in our lives, even when we cannot see it. In Jeremiah 29:11, we find the promise that God has plans for peace and hope for us, even amid difficulties. Just as Mars eventually resumes its normal course, we too can rise again and move forward. The key lies in our willingness to seek God's help and to allow ourselves to learn from the experiences we go through. When we turn to Him, we find the strength needed to overcome challenges and continue our journey. It is also essential to surround ourselves with people who support us during these times. Having a network of friends and family who encourage us and help us see the positive side of situations can make all the difference. Sometimes we need someone to remind us of our strength and worth, especially when we are feeling down. Community is a vital part of our spiritual and emotional journey. Additionally, the practice of gratitude can be a powerful tool to help us overcome setbacks. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we shift our focus from what is going wrong to what is going right in our lives. This change in perspective can help us see that even amid difficulties, there are still blessings and opportunities for growth. Therefore, as we reflect on the opposition of Mars and its retrograde motion, may we remember that setbacks are a natural part of life. They do not define our worth or our purpose. Instead, they are opportunities to learn, grow, and rise again. May we seek God's presence in our moments of difficulty, trusting that He is always working for our good. Just as Mars returns to its normal course, we too can find our way back, stronger and wiser than before. May this reflection inspire us to face challenges with courage and faith, knowing that God is always by our side, guiding us every step of the way. The heavens declare the glory of God, as Psalm 19 verse 1 teaches us. This passage reminds us that when we look at the vast universe, we are confronted with the greatness of the Creator. Every star that shines, every planet that moves in its orbit, is a testament to the magnificence of God and His work. When we contemplate Mars shining brightly in the sky, we are invited to recognize God's sovereignty and to worship Him with gratitude. Mars, with its vibrant color and striking presence, is a reminder that God is the architect of the cosmos. He created each celestial body with a purpose, and each one plays a role in the harmony of the universe. By observing Mars in its opposition, we are led to reflect on the order and beauty that God has established. This order is not limited to the cosmos, but extends to our lives. Just as the planets follow their orbits, we too are called to follow the path that God has laid out for us. This celestial event invites us to deep introspection. Am I living in a way that glorifies God? This question is fundamental, as it leads us to consider how our actions, thoughts, and attitudes reflect the light of Christ. Just as Mars reflects the light of the sun, our lives should be a reflection of the divine light we receive. This means that we must strive to live in a way that honors God and shows the world the love and grace He offers us. Living to glorify God involves more than just words. It is a matter of action. Our daily interactions, our choices, and even our reactions to life's circumstances should reflect the light of Christ. This can manifest in acts of kindness, compassion, and love for others. When we act according to God's principles, we are not only living in a way that glorifies Him, but also being witnesses of His presence in our lives. Moreover, the way we deal with challenges and adversities is also an opportunity to glorify God. When we face difficulties, we can choose to respond with faith and trust, knowing that God is with us. This attitude not only strengthens our own faith, but also serves as a powerful testimony to those who observe us. When people see our peace amid the storm, they are led to question the source of that peace, and thus we are able to share the light of Christ with them. The beauty of the night sky, with its stars and planets, also reminds us of the importance of worship. When we look at Mars and contemplate its magnificence, we are led to worship the Creator who made it. Worship is a natural response to God's greatness. It is an acknowledgement of His sovereignty and an act of surrender and gratitude. When we gather to worship, whether in community or in moments of personal devotion, we are reaffirming our position as creatures before the Creator. Furthermore, worship helps us align our hearts and minds with God's will. When we focus on His greatness, our worries and anxieties begin to diminish. Worship reminds us that God is greater than any challenge we may face. Just as Mars shines in the sky, our worship should shine in our lives, reflecting the light of Christ to those around us. Contemplating the cosmos also leads us to recognize our own smallness in comparison to God's greatness. This should not discourage us, but rather encourage us to approach Him with humility. God, in His infinite wisdom, chose to create us in His image and give us a purpose. This truth is a testament to His love and grace. When we recognize our position before God, we are led to live with gratitude and reverence. Thus, as we observe Mars and reflect on the glory of God, we are called to live in a way that glorifies the Creator. This involves a life of worship, service, and love. We should constantly ask ourselves how we can reflect the light of Christ in our daily actions. Every small act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every act of love are opportunities to glorify God and to be a testimony of His light in the world. Therefore, as we contemplate the beauty of the sky and the magnificence of Mars, may we remember that we are called to be light amid darkness. May our lives reflect the light of Christ, and may, in doing so, we glorify God in all that we do. May our worship be a testimony to the greatness of the Creator, and may, just as the heavens proclaim His glory, our lives also be a reflection of His light and love. The light of Christ in us should be evident in our actions and attitudes. This means we must strive to live with integrity, compassion, and love. When we do this, we not only glorify God but also inspire others to do the same. Life is a journey, and each of us has the ability to positively influence those around us. By becoming light, we can help create an environment where hope and love thrive. Additionally, this reflection on being light leads us to consider our own relationship with God. To shine brightly, we need to be connected to the source of light. This means seeking closeness to God in our lives. Prayer, meditation, and reading the Bible are practices that help us strengthen this connection. When we dedicate ourselves to knowing God more deeply, we are transformed and empowered to reflect His light more effectively. Therefore, as we look to the sky and contemplate the beauty of Mars, may we remember that we are called to be light in a world that desperately needs hope. May this moment inspire us to seek closeness to God, to reflect His light, and to live as the chosen ones we are. Let us seize this opportunity to strengthen our faith and our connection with the Creator. Look to the sky, but remember to look within yourselves as well. Ask yourselves, am I living in a way that glorifies God? Am I being light to those around me? These questions are essential for keeping us aligned with divine purposes. May we commit to acting, to being light, and to making a difference in someone's life today. May God bless you, and as we contemplate Mars in its maximum brightness, may we remember that we are called to shine brightly, reflecting the light of Christ in a world that longs for love and hope. May each of us become a beacon of light, illuminating the way for those who are lost in darkness. Together, we can make a difference and be the light that God has called us to be. Together, we can make a difference and be the light that God has called us to be. Now is the time to act and strengthen your spiritual journey. With The Chosen, 40 days of reflection and hope, you'll find daily inspiration to renew your mind, align your heart with God's purposes, and positively impact those around you. Don't wait any longer to embark on this transformative journey. Be part of this experience and see how your faith can illuminate lives and bring hope to the world. Your decision today could be the start of something extraordinary.